than traveling across the country and then getting turned away at the gate, right?
Yep, exactly. Yeah,
Absolutely.
I just worked with a guy. He drug up and went to Pennsylvania and busted his test out there. I mean, so Arizona, Pennsylvania, I don't know off the top of my head, but it's probably 2,000 miles, drive that far to bust a test. I mean, you don't want that. So it's that consistent practice and getting in there and striving for perfection. I don't think anybody will ever be perfect, but if you strive for it, you're going to be damn close.
I could see how you'd be invested in your welding, and you're talking about thinking you're better than you actually are, and then Gary shoots you down. Well, that's the type of guy to maintain the standards.
Right.
We're not pushing out, if you're certified here under Gary, you're going to go certify anywhere else, right? So that's one of those things, staying humble comes right back around. But I do believe you need those guys keeping those standards, keeping them, and making you better, make you try a little harder. Not a lot of people like to try a little harder. They like to make excuses. So it's one of those things you got to maintain that mindset. And it's one of those things where I know that you guys being the top two here, that it just means there's a lot of work behind it. You guys are both certed. You guys definitely put in the work. So, no, but I'm just trying to get into the mindset of you guys, what I'm trying to do here. And it's really cool, man. I just like the way you guys are talking shows me that you're true students. You guys are truly into it and you love what you do. I mean, but into your personal lives, so you're from South Dakota and you're born and raised here in Arizona or what?
Yes, sir. Chandler, Arizona.
Chandler, from Chandler. Dang.
That's where you get the name. Huh?
Okay. Right on. So you guys have your dad is a cop, you said, right?
Yeah.
So Cody's dad, and then what does your dad do?
My dad is actually a service plumber, believe it or not.
Okay.
Non-union, though.
Okay. Well, wait, you have anybody directing you here, or was it someone at EVIT that directed you here? Maybe I missed it. Maybe you already said it. I don't know.
Well, my dad, I saw what he did, and I knew that he had to play with, poop at some point, and it never really, kind of interested me. But
number one on a number two job. Huh?
Yeah. But as far as my father, he didn't really push me to go into the piping industry. It was more so an instructor from EVIT, and he's actually he might be still an apprentice here or turned out. But
What's his name?
His name's Aaron. I believe his last name is I don't know if it's a good idea to give out people's full names.
If they're a badass, give out their names. Yeah, dude.
Aaron Schlund. This goes out to you, but he was actually the one that caught me in O'Reilly's one Saturday, and I was on kind of picking the fence. I wanted to go here or go work with the carpenters because they needed welders, and he was telling me, say, hey man, jump on 469. They're hiring, looking for applicants right now. And that's all they do is pipe weld. And if you can, he pretty much told me if you can weld, pretty much anything round, you can weld anything else out there. And I took his word for it and jumped on it. And it was just kind of that last little push that really got me, okay, this is what I want to do. This is what I need to go for. And here I am, 2 weeks after I took the test online, got an interview, and then started working the same week.
Fuck yeah, dude.
That's nice, yeah. I think, what drove me to come in or even heard about it was just the guy that I worked with when I was in the West Valley. And I was in the back of my mind, you're like, how are these guys driving around with these $100,000 rigs, and $80,000 campers and have all this money, and I'm sitting here doing the same kind of work they're doing and getting a fraction of that. And I just, money was kind of a big factor for me, but at the same time, I'd always heard that, unions are the quality behind the work that they do and the craftsmanship is by far the best that you'll ever see. And so that was something that always stood out to me. And that's what I strive for myself. I want to be perfect. And so when I had the opportunity to be able to even apply and get in, I jumped on it. And, same situation with you. I, filled out the application 2 weeks later, came down, interviewed, did a weld eval, and here I am. So.
Hell yeah. You guys, is there any journeyman out there that, really pushed you to be a better version of yourself or go that extra little bit or strive for perfection? Anyone that stands out to you guys?
For me, it would be Dale Buxton. I worked with him for over a year, and he just he really pushed you. A lot of people, I think, right out of the gate get the wrong impression from him, but he's one of those guys that, I mean, he's going to dump everything he knows onto you, and he's going to push you, and he's going to make sure that you're taking in this information that he's giving you, and it's up to you to receive it and to keep getting more, because he'll keep giving it to you. I mean, it's just one of those things where he's a great teacher. He can come off kind of harsh to some people, I think, but once you get to know him, stand-up guy, and just excellent teacher. And he's not a welder. He's not even a pipe fitter. He's a plumber. And I've learned a lot from him, and he's definitely been probably one of the biggest influences for me once coming into this trade.
Hell yeah! What about you, Chandler? Anyone you want to give a shout out to, or made you be a better version of yourself, or?
Like Cody said, I wasn't a fitter or a welder, I was a plumber. But his name is Patrick Head, and I met him over Honor Health Deer Valley about June of last year, 2018. But just meeting him, he's just one of those guys that he's had a rough past, and he's overcame it, and he where he is now is just a lot of work from where he came from, but he knows and understands that the apprentices that do work hard, when I worked with him, he definitely helped me to build confidence in myself, just say that you're a hard worker, and keep doing what you're doing, and the people that that have had a worse rough life, a lot more rough than you've had, but if we're able to bounce back from it, and be a stand-up person, those are the people that really come out to me first, or they just kind of shine in my eyes, and those are the people I really look up to, because they have all that wisdom that they've acquired through all their troubles and hardships. And he's just a real stand-up guy, real down to earth, and does his job. It's important to him to get his job done. So I'd say Pat Head.
Hell yeah, dude. That's what I mean. We tease a little bit, especially in the trade. There's like a friendly dispute between crafts, plumbers, fitters. But the thing is, I found, all kidding aside, is that it don't really matter. There's some really good dudes, some badasses all around, and they take pride in what they do. They take pride in where the future's going, and they can really tell who's in it for the right reasons, and they'll pour out everything they know, and they're not real stingy with their knowledge. So that's real good, man. I'm glad that I like hearing stories about just the guys you talked about. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I think that's also one of the things, other besides welding in general, is just, you're building your character as a person when you're here. And I think the more the apprentices focus on that part and being able to take the knowledge that they learn and to be these journeymen that both of us have mentioned to future apprentices, I mean, that's what's gonna bring this trade up, and it's gonna increase. It's just those kinds of people going out there and just dumping everything on these other generations, because I mean, we're here to help each other, and that's what it comes down to. So
yeah, I'm going into my third year, and I've learned a lot of skills since I've been here, but the biggest thing I'm learning this year, within the last few months especially, is the culture, what we're getting into. There's a lot to learn, and it's not just skill. There's a lot of culture and carrying yourself a certain way here. Yep. And I think that's what you're kind of talking about, is that future being built up in a way that's not just skill. I mean, obviously we are craftsmen. We're not just, construction workers. We're craftsmen. What we put in is we're the best. And the way you carry yourself also has to show that, you're a professional. So
actions speak louder than words.
Hell yeah.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
What was it you said earlier about welding? I liked it. I like what you said. You got to know the difference between.
You got to know when you're first starting out, what the how to do a clean weld. Not just run a bead and carry a puddle, but know how to run a bead and carry a puddle. And make sure that your weld's going to be clean on the inside.
Oh yeah.
And that just that just comes with practice and learning from your mistakes, pass or failing your X-ray tests. Just figuring out where you had this amount of porosity or where you left some slag. Just and then the techniques. Being able to manipulate your rod in a fashion to where you making sure you're burning. Running a clean bead. You're burning all your stuff out. All your discontinuities and just it's
That's a lot of shit to think about. Dude.
yeah.
A lot of stuff. But you're also saying you're the biggest critic. You guys are talking about being your biggest critic. You're striving for perfection. You said you got to know when good is good enough. Rather than taking too much time and knowing what's when you're hitting the standard. And you hit me with that too. That's badass, bro. Man, that's a lot of stuff in your mind. I mean, how do you manage all that when you guys are welding? I mean, how do you manage all that? Does it just start to become second nature, what you're looking for, or what?
I just like what you said earlier, Jory. A lot of it's muscle memory and just being in there and just doing the repetition over and over again. Starting with a piece of plate, and just patting that plate, until you get one side patted, and then you flip it, sideways and pad that side, just over and over and over again, and just boring it into your head, the muscle memory. So when it does, come time to perform and you need to do your best, you're not even, you're probably thinking about half of it, or if not a quarter of what you're doing, and the rest is just your muscle memory taking over,
Yeah.
And a lot of that just is practice. I mean, I think the biggest thing is that, it just going out and just running stringers on a piece of pipe. It just perfecting that is gonna speak volume towards your career as a welder. Just being able to, put that to use every single day and get in there and do it. I've always had a hard time with nerves when it comes to test day. And that's just one of the things that, shout out to Chad Jesse I think a lot of apprentices, they're gonna be blessed by just having him as their instructor. That guy cares a hell of a lot about the future coming through this trade. And one of the things he told me, he goes, "It ain't a test. Just welding pipe. That's all you're doing. Just get in there and weld. You've done it 100 times before. It becomes muscle memory, like Chandler said. And if you can get out of the nervousness in your head, you'll do fine. That's what it comes down to. You're just making a weld. That's all it is.
Yeah, Chad's a good dude. I went in there to grab Chandler right now. I was hoping he wasn't in there, but he was, because he saw me last summer and he's been bugging me like, "Hey, you can get in there or what? What the fuck, man?" I'm like, oh man. Now that just shows you how much he cares, though. He wants guys to take it serious, and it is up to you though. But I don't know, man. I'm not in there, so I don't like to be one of those guys like, yeah, I'm thinking about it. It's just, I tried it. I'm not sure if it's what I want to do, man. You guys are a special breed. You really are. You guys, even you're talking about filling out that plate, flip it over, fill it up again. You're like running beads over and over on a piece of pipe. You're overwhelming me right now. I'm like, fuck. You got to find a way to love it, right?
Yeah. I think it just comes down to what you really want out of it. And some people are cut out to do it, and it's, like I said, it comes naturally, and some, they just want it bad enough that they're going to do whatever it takes to get it, and then they do, and you'll see them out there on the job one day,
Hell yeah. That's one thing, like, even with fitting, like, I'm loving laying it out and throwing it in, and I'm just falling in love with all the fundamentals of pipe fitting, but that's just me. I learned how to be a student. I learned to love being a student no matter what I'm learning. And it takes a lot of time from family, and hats off to you, spending time from your significant other. And it takes a sacrifice on their end, too, not being able to see you. And it takes a strong woman to do that,
Yeah,
So,
it's definitely a two-way street, for sure.
Hell yeah. What company you guys work? You're working with W.D. Maynor, right?
Correct.
And
J.B. Henderson.
You're at the fab shop? Where you at, Chandler?
I'm over on 202 in Alma School, helping build Banner Ocotillo Hospital.
Damn, all right then. Hell yeah. So how do you like it out there? Are you actually welding out there or what?
No welding. Just right now we're getting up all the hangers so we can get the pipe in here pretty soon.
Right on.
Yeah, not yet